Alrighty, everybody. What's going on, guys? Welcome back here to another stream, my friends. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. We are going to be doing some coverage today, man. It's been a moment since we actually did some actual coverage here. But we are back, my friends. We are here with the coverage. But it's good to see you guys. I hope everyone is doing well, having a great day. So we got ourselves a bit of a severe weather threat tonight, or this evening here. A lot of it is across Nebraska and portions of Kansas here. If we take a look at the convective outlook real quickly, we're going to just go back here. So you can actually see, well, first of all, let's talk about this watch here. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for portions of central western Nebraska. Also a little bit of like extreme northeastern Colorado and northwestern Kansas. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the next 5 hours. With an overall 20% chance of tornadoes, a 40% chance of wind, let's see here, 50% chance of hail, and a combined severe threat of 80% chance. What's up, Raka? Good to see you. Saying hey, hey, Andrew. What's up? What's up, Fire News? Saying hey. What's up, Anthony? Saying Andrew. Great to see you, my man. You too, dude. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. Chris says, hey, Andrew. Hope all is well. This coastal storm in the east is almost meets characteristics of a tropical storm. Yeah, I was actually watching that over by the mid-Atlantic coast. There's this cyclone that we have. It's just off the coast of North Carolina. Let's see if we can take a peek at it real quickly. I think it's more towards like Virginia Beach now at this point in time. I think this is just it right here. Let's go ahead and get some radar views on it here. You can so there you go. You can actually see we do have that rotation to it. But here's the thing, though. It is not a tropical cyclone. Although, I will tell you this. Tropics are heating up. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But we now have a new area of potential formation. So now we're watching two disturbances here. And first of all, the first disturbance we've been tracking for the last couple days is now at an overall 90% chance of formation here. So that's throughout the next 48 hours even. 48 hours, 90% chance of formation. And of course the next 7 days also 90%. So, but they did mention here in the text here, a tropical depression or storm is likely to form in the next day or two as the system moves west-northwestward to northwestward at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So Definitely got to look out there for that. And once again, we have a new disturbance here. As of right now, only 20% chance. But yeah, this guy here is not a tropical cyclone. Just a lot of rain and stuff. So we'll look out there for that. But anyways, all right. So yeah, but mostly all of our eyes are going to be here on the plains today. We actually do here. Let's go ahead and pause this here. We actually do have a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings and stuff like that. We did have a tornado warning here a little bit ago, but that's no longer in effect here. But wow, holy cow, look at this. Storm out by McCook. Hail 3 inches observed. That is ridiculous. 3-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts here. Remain alert for possible tornado. Look at that. Hail threat observed. Max hail size 3 inches in diameter. Goodness gracious. That is quite a storm, man. Yep, so that's out there for McCook in southwestern Nebraska. Most of the activity right now is for like western Nebraska. You can see we do have a pretty aggressive looking outflow boundary. Look at that, man. Holy cow. Pretty aggressive looking outflow boundary here with that system as well. Definitely probably bringing some pretty gusty winds, I'd have to say. That's for sure. Let's see here. What's up, Robin? Good to see you. War says, Brandon. Well, War, it's not really that respectful to be promoting other people on another person's channel, but okay. Let's see here. Good rain is on the way for West Kentucky. Enjoy it, man. Yeah, I know a lot of places out here is pretty darn dry. If we take a look here, let's bring up our drought monitor real quickly. Yeah, a lot of the Midwest has been like super duper dry lately, including Western Kentucky. I mean, yeah, we do have still a pretty moderate drought going on for a lot of you guys. That includes like the Paducah area. Goodness, definitely need to look out there for that. What's up, Maggie? Good to see you. How's Springfield, Missouri looking? So drought-wise, we have a severe drought, but severe weather-wise, this is probably what you're wondering. So if we look at the outlook for today, we do have a thunderstorm threat. So there is a potential for a couple booms of thunder today. Not really a severe weather threat, although I will tell you this. We do have a couple of severe storms kind of near the Joplin area, just west of Joplin, east of Fort Smith here. But Springfield, right now on the radar, you can see we do have a little bit of convection to the south, a little bit of storm activity popping through. But yeah, a little bit of storm activity is certainly possible, but just, not expected severe. But we do have a couple severe storms out there, so which is pretty interesting. But yeah, so just keep it on it. Nothing should be severe, but don't be surprised if this evening we get a little bit of storm activity. Anyways, but yeah, so today's threat, y'all, we do have ourselves a slight risk here, level 2 severe weather threat for western Nebraska, also including a little bit of the central side as well. We have northeastern Colorado included as well, and that slight risk northwestern portions of Kansas here. Now, we do have a tornado threat. That's partially what we're covering today. So we do have a tornado threat here for portions of central western Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and a little bit of northwestern Kansas here. So this is a 2% chance. So, this is a pretty low-end odds of anything. And honestly, if we did get tornadoes, they would likely be weak and relatively brief. They're not expected to be like anything long-tracked or anything like that. So that's good. But regardless, we still absolutely could be seeing a couple of tornadoes, in which we do need to look out there for. Now, I also mentioned here across Virginia Beach area, we do also have a little 2%. I know it's kind of hard. It's kind of easy to miss here. But we do have another 2% chance for tornadoes kind of out here by the Virginia Beach area here by Chesapeake, towards Chesapeake Bay, essentially on the southern side. So, a brief spin-up tornado or two can't be ruled out here as well. But the main tornado threat here today is going to be for a lot of us out here by, like, Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, so we'll need to look out for that. Damaging winds, we have a 15% risk across the yellow, so 15% chance of damaging wind gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour possible. Some occasions, worst case scenarios, we could get some gusts maybe upwards of 70 miles an hour, but it's unlikely. Most of those wind gusts are going to be within the threshold of 60 miles an hour. And then, of course, we have the brown, which is the same threat, but just lower probability. 5% chance for damaging winds every 25 miles. Pretty low odds if you think about it, but it can still absolutely happen. And even a little bit of a continuation here as well for like northeastern Minnesota, and a little bit of upper Wisconsin here included as well. And then, of course, once again, the 5% chance area up there by Virginia Beach area here with that system that we were just talking about. Now, hail. This is where things get a little bit interesting here. So hail, we actually do have a hatch risk for hail. Across this area here with that black dashed lines going through it. So this is what we call our hatch risk here, our significant risk for hail. So this is for western Nebraska, in which, this area here could see the potential for hail, well greater than 2 inches in diameter. So we'll definitely need to look out there for that. So we could see some hail 2 inches in diameter or larger, which we'll definitely look into. Overall, once again, the yellow represents that 15% chance probability for hail. Outside of that hatch risk area here, hail between 1 to 2 inches in diameter is possible. Inside of that hatch risk area here, that is where we could see 2 inches in diameter or greater. So, you can obviously see that there is a little bit of a more concern for these areas up here in the dashed area. So that's that. So, that's kind of today's threat here that we're really looking into. Once again, all hazards is on the table here. We do have a handful of severe storms popping through. Some of these are pretty significant, actually. Just like that one out by McCook. That's kind of the most aggressive one I think we got going on right now. Yeah, once again, 3-inch hail has been observed. That's not warned for just 3-inch hail, but that's actually literally observed, meaning they've seen 3-inch hail in this storm already. So yeah, we are definitely seeing 3-inch hail being a concern out of the storm here. And also, once again, wind gusts here also up to 60 miles an hour. So, not only do you got large hail, you got some potential of maybe some wind-driven large hail. So that's even a little bit more of a concern. Can hit a little bit harder. Could absolutely be a bit of a concern for sure. What's up, Dixie? Good to see ya. Let's see here. MD says, hi, Andrew. Hope you're doing good. Yes, Ohio has a drought, too. Yeah, a lot of people up there by the Midwest and even part of the Northeast here. Let's go and bring that up again for you guys. Yeah, we've been pretty dry lately for a lot of us. Here, let's pull that up. Yep, Ohio's been pretty dry as well. The upper Northeast here, definitely in some pretty dry stuff. Midwest as well. The West, obviously, is pretty much always dry. So, but yeah, we got some droughts going on up there too. The only places that are really not experiencing a massive drought right now is like the northern plains, some of the western, some of the western Great Lakes regions here, and a little bit of the central southern plains. But once again, a lot of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, even Northeast, and of course the West, like the Rockies, very, very, very dry here. So definitely we do got to look out there for that. But let's take a minute to hop over the tropics here real quickly. So we do have some new information. So first of all, the disturbance that we've been watching here, this is disturbance 1 that we've been paying attention to. This is actually now a invest. It is now an investigation. So a couple of new things have happened here. We now have the runs of the hurricane models. So we'll go ahead and pull those up for you guys. But yes, it is now an invest, and like we mentioned here a little bit ago, just a few minutes ago, we are seeing a good shot of this thing becoming a depression or a tropical storm within the next day. So there is a good chance that possibly late today, tomorrow, we could have a tropical storm. So we'll have to look out there for that. But let me go ahead and bring you guys up the models here real quickly. The models right now are in some pretty good news. Majority of the models do keep this thing, once again, well north of the Antilles, thankfully. So we're not really expecting, any significant or really any big impacts at all for some of the Virgin Islands, some of the Antilles here, Puerto Rico. Those areas should be absolutely fine with this system here. We have a little bit of agreement here for the next 48 hours or so, but beyond this point, you can see we do have a little bit of disagreement in the models. We have some models going far to the right. A couple of models going further to the left here. So there's obviously a bit of uncertainty still with the system, but more than likely, given that the main hurricane models are keeping everything just north of the Virgin Islands and stuff like that, should allow for those areas to be relatively good to go. So that's definitely some good news. Now here's the intensity guidance. So same models, it's the hurricane models, same models and everything like that, but this is plotted for intensity. And you can obviously tell that there's a bit of uncertainty as well, with the strength of this storm here. That kind of median ground, kind of right in here. There is a good shot. Given these models, there is a good shot at some point in the kind of mid-far future that this system could become a hurricane. That is actually a really good possibility. See, the limitations right now is that there's a bit of dry air that's kind of around the storm that's going to kind of prevent the system, from rapidly intensifying in the short term. However, in the mid to long term, that is where we could see a lot of strengthening occur here with this system here. So we'll just have to kind of monitor that. We'll have to just kind of keep an eye out there for that system. But, like we mentioned, we now have a new system here that we're going to be watching as well. Obviously, way too early to tell what that one's going to do, but, we'll have to watch it. There is a good shot that 92L? Yeah, 92L could be a fish storm. It's very possible. You guys remember, I don't like to look anything further than 180 hours out because of how crazy it can get beyond that point. The extended range here, the GEPS here, kind of does show a bunch of those members, eventually pulling it out to sea. So as of now, it doesn't appear that this thing's going to be too much of a concern. But like I mentioned, shouldn't just, immediately ignore the system. It obviously still needs to be watched very, very closely, in which we'll definitely keep a close eye out there for it. What's up, Mark? Saying, hey, Andrew. Good to see you, my friend. One of these severe storms predicted 3-inch hail a couple minutes ago. Yeah, actually, we were just talking about that here just a few moments ago. The one up by McCook here. This one has... let's see here, 3-inch hail observed. So they've actually observed apparently 3-inch hail out of that storm here, which is pretty darn crazy. And you got to think about it. Not only is there 3-inch hail, that is way bigger than any golf ball. A golf ball is 1.75 inches, so just a little bit short of 2 golf balls in width, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, also 60-mile-an-hour winds and a possible tornado on it. So. Tornado possible tag doesn't mean that there will be a tornado, just means that we need to monitor it closely because tornadoes can quickly develop. And, actually looking at it, we do have a little bit of couplet activity. This is pretty high up, though. Yeah, this is 12,000 feet. Let me see if this might be a closer radar here. Let's try this one. Okay, yeah, this is 6,000 feet. Yeah, up by McCook. Definitely kind of a elevated supercell from what it looks like. We'll definitely have to see what happens. Need to keep an eye on it because, like I mentioned, we do have the tornado threat today, so we'll have to look out there for it. Can I look at the radar loops for the storm near Valentine? I just want to hear my sense. Yes. Let's see. Where is Valentine? I gotta find out. I'm not too used to these areas here, so. Valentine, here we go. Is it the one up here? Oh, okay. Okay, I see you. The one up to the north here. Got it. Let me pull up velocity here, see what we got going on it. This one doesn't appear to be much. Let's scan up a little higher, maybe. Yeah, I really don't see a whole lot with this system. Or this storm here. Nothing tornadic anyways. It does look like it's raining pretty good, though. Quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Do got some pretty heavy reflectivity, though. upwards of mid 60, lower 60 dBc. That's definitely heavy rain. Probably a bit of hail in that as well. Yeah, don't really see a whole lot of anything crazy. You want me to? Oh, you want me to loop it? Okay. Well, then I'll go back to it. I thought you meant like right now. Let me see. Let's go back to velocity here. Okay. Yeah, it definitely looked a little bit more. There you go. Looked a little bit more intense there, but since then it's definitely faded out a bit. It's good. Definitely good. What did they have that thing warned for? 1.75 inch hail on that one. Yeah, but that's since been canceled, so that's good. Anyways, what's up, JP27? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I mean, this storm does have a pretty decent outflow boundary on it, though. I mean, look at it. The thing is quite gnarly looking. On an Omega, it showed a pretty impressive downburst of wind. Yep. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I did see those high-end velocities there. Absolutely. We did have a tornado warning earlier for McCook, but that's been canceled since. Right now, we are, thankfully, not under any tornado warnings, knock on wood. Don't want to end up jinxing it, but McCook's still got a really big problem. Thankfully, they've actually dropped it a bit. We're now down to 2-inch radar indicated hail. So before it was 3-inch observed, meaning people have seen 3-inch hail on the storm, and now it's down to 2-inch radar indicated, meaning that's just radar, estimated 2 inches in diameter here. So yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with. So thankfully that threat has dropped a bit, but still, 2-inch hail is still really bad, still really, really big. Jim says, got my firewood, still waiting on hurricane to head towards Florida. How you doing, man? I'm doing good, Jim. Good to see you, dude. Hopefully, we won't have any of that activity. I mean, the storm lover in me wants a good storm, don't get me wrong, but they do tend to cause more problems than good. So, let's see here. What's up, Mia? Saying, do I think Florida will still get a seasonal storm of this year, or do you think we're going to luck out? What, you mean like tropical cyclone? We still have all of October to go through, which October's, on record, a very active month for, not just the tropics, but also for tropical landfalls in Florida, too. I mean, we obviously can't say, no, there's not going to be any more storms, because we don't know. There absolutely still very well could be. And, like we've been talking about, the tropics have been actively heating up a lot here within the last couple of days, and like I said, now we have two disturbances here. One's an invest about to turn into a tropical depression or storm here within the next day. So the other one, still not a lot can be said about it right now. Right now we're still at an overall 20% chance of formation in the next 7 days, which is, not really super high probability as of now, but we'll have to definitely look out there for that. What's up, Josh? It's good to see you. Let's see here. I forgot there was October. Kind of skipped it in my head. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, typically from what I've seen, September, October. So while peak hurricane season is September 10th, September, October are usually the most active months in general. So, because at that point in time, everything's heated up. If it's, June, July, June's when hurricane season starts, June 1st. Then it goes into July. At that point in time, stuff hasn't really heated up as much. But then you go into August. That's when things start to pick up a bit. August and September really picks up. Then October, things are still pretty darn, things are still pretty darn warm. So that's why we see a lot of the activity then. Mark says that storm broke Storm Chaser's windshield completely. Oh, that's not good. Was it? Oh, the McCook storm? Yeah, that's a pretty aggressive storm here. Let's take a look at velocities on it. Let me pull up our other radar here. We have KGLD. This is Goodland radar. Okay, yeah, it's definitely not as crazy as it was here. I mean, this is scanning 7,000 feet up too. A lot. You'd be surprised of how much can change from 7,000 feet to ground level. I mean, a lot can change in the environment. But that's the highest, the lowest scan that we have available to us. But still got some big old hail on it. I don't think there's max expected hail size on here, is there? We got echo tops. Let's see what those echo tops are. Oh wow, yeah, these are some pretty tall storms, man. 52,000 foot. Now you got to remember, this is echo tops. This is what the radar is scanning the top of precipitation. You know, a radar can't scan clouds. They can scan the precipitation within the clouds, and which basically the tops of the storm could actually be a couple more thousand feet higher, which is very interesting. But yeah, definitely really tall top storms up there. You know, just over 50,000 foot. Absolutely. What's up, Vienna? Good to see you. Josh just says coughing a lot is annoying. Yeah, well, hopefully you feel better, dude. It's rough. But anyways, so once again, right now a lot of the activities for like western Nebraska. Let's actually take a peek at the models here. That's something we have not done yet. So I do want to bring you guys over to models here. We're gonna look at some of them here. Let's first of all get rid of this. We'll bring up her model HRRR. Should we do sub-hourly? I think we'll just do normal. 1 hour intervals. Precipitation, composite reflectivity. Okay, here we go. I think I got the time. Yep, so time's in the top right, guys, up here. Right there, if you want to follow along in the timing. By the way, this is in Eastern time. So Central time zone is 1 hour behind. So there would be, for example, right now it's almost 6 o'clock p.m. So right now it's 5:56 p.m. Eastern. It'd be 4:56 Central. So what's shown on here, 5 p.m., this would actually be 4 p.m. locally, okay? Just want to let you guys know. So another thing I do want to overlay is the convective outlook here too. So let's go ahead and get that going. And we'll put the reflectivity on top here, actually. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we kind of just have this big old, almost, I wouldn't call it a straight up line of storms. I mean, it's just kind of a big cluster of storms that's kind of very much scattered. HRRR, you know, given down in time here, we're going to have to drop to 820 Zulu. But yeah, you can see how, you know, these storms just kind of persist over the next several hours here. I mean, this goes in for a while. Look at that. A lot of rain involved. Looks like we got kind of a low that's developing here. That's going to be going over Nebraska, kind of pulling up a lot of that moisture. But yeah, it's going to be quite rainy, quite stormy for a while up here. So this actually has some of the storm activity hitting Lincoln area here. This is like tomorrow morning. This is 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. So a lot of the storms are going to actually persist overnight here. Although I think a lot of the worst of them is going to be mostly throughout this evening here. Here, let me get rid of this here. Let's try overlaying some of those wind gusts here. Surface wind gusts. Here we go. Go ahead and see what we got going on there. Definitely could have some pretty gusty winds within some of those. Yeah. So those gusty winds would persist mostly. Yeah, most of it's going to be this evening here, but the threat still could continue on. Relatively isolated throughout the evening in the early morning hours. Definitely could see some pretty high-end gusts on some of these storms, though. But remember, you know, this is a triple threat here. This is, you know, all hazards. You know, tornadoes, winds, hail. I think we got mesoanalysis on this here now. I am pretty sure. Let's see here. Mesoanalysis. Oh, it's mesoscale. Whoops. Let's see. Here we go. Mesoanalysis. Surface. Let's do... Do they not have... Oh, they don't have... winds, like different levels. That sucks, but that's all right. But yeah, we got meso analysis now, which is pretty nice. Okay. Well, here's what I will do. I'll actually just pull up the regular meso analysis page here, because I'm curious to see what we got going on here. So let's hop you guys over here real quickly. Hop into the plains. Okay. Let's go up north. Do northern plains here. There we go. So you can see Nebraska and everywhere here. So looking at our lower level winds, we do have about a 25, 30, upwards of 30 knots of winds. I mean, that's not anything excessive. Let's see our mid-level flow. Kinematics don't seem very strong today, though. Got a lot of instability, though, I tell you what. Yeah, we're like almost 3,000 joules per kilogram in some areas here. That's a lot. So definitely a lot of instability. The wind shear doesn't appear to be anything like super significant. I wonder if that's going to change throughout this evening here. Let me let's hop back to models here again real quickly, you guys. I do want to bring up COD here, though. Here we go. Let's do NAM 850 millibar. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, so it does look like later on this evening we'll probably pick up a little bit more wind shear. Possibly maybe 35, upwards of 40 knots. Yeah, because where we're kind of at now, we're not really seeing anything like, super excessive or, anything like that. Yeah, our mid-level flow is just weak. It's terrible. Alright, let's hop back here to the radar, y'all. So right now, y'all, we do have, let's see here, 13 severe thunderstorm warnings currently. No tornado warnings at all, so that is good news, but obviously we'll just need to continue watching it. We do have a couple of isolated severe storms up here, too, for, let's see here, Iowa. Southwest of Des Moines, we have a warning for quarter hail, so 50 mile an hour winds or less. Same thing up north. This one's up here by Burt. So this is northern Iowa towards Burt and Lone Rock. Got another severe warning up there. What's up, Mayra? Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I'm terrible with names, but it's good to see you, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. Let's see. We actually do we've been seeing a couple pop-up severe storms up here, just southwest of Springfield. They're not in any active risk for severe weather. This storm for extreme northeastern Oklahoma. This is literally like the top right corner of northeastern Oklahoma. Quarter hail, 60 mile an hour wind gusts out here. Got 12 more minutes on that. Let's see. Will South Carolina see any storms soon? We're not expecting anything severe, anything like that. So today, not really a whole lot of storm activity. Tomorrow as well, day 3, no. Yeah, South Carolina looks pretty good. The western side, we could get a couple showers and storms. We're right on the edge of that thunderstorm risk here. We do have a couple storms out by like northeastern Georgia, but yeah, South Carolina SPC does not have anything for at least the next 3 days. So, yeah, not really seeing a whole lot of activity out there for South Carolina. Let's see here. Some of these guys, okay, we have 3 minutes on the big warning here. Or, hold on a minute, that already expired. that expired here 4 minutes ago. There we go. Why is it still showing then? Oh, there we go. There's a new warning in place. That's why. Paxton and Sutherland. So we got 1.25 inch hail. Winds are not severe. They're 50 or less. Less than 50. We got a warning south of Grant. Quarter hail. Once again, not really damaging winds here. Look at that. Okay, so the McCook storm. So this is the one that had the 3-inch hail a little bit ago. And then they downgraded it to 2-inch radar indicated. So Now we're actually back to 2-inch observed, so they've re-observed hail. Let's see here. ATR says appreciate it. Yeah, no problem, dude. No problem at all. What's up, Raven? You broke your arm and your shoulder collar. Oh, dude, that's not good. Hopefully you have a fast recovery, my friend. Sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Let's see. We got a warning up here in western. This is Colorado, right? Yeah, Colorado, West Colorado here. I think this is no man's land. Quarter hail. You know, I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why. Like, they warn areas that are completely rural. I mean, if the population is like nothing, it's interesting. By the way, y'all, we do have a red flag warning in effect for the Seattle area. Up here in Washington State, we do have quite a bit of wildfire concerns up here. Just want to go ahead and mention that with you guys. I think I can... let's see here. Let me pull up this model again. I think we can look at the meso-analysis on this page. Relative humidity. Here we go. I don't know if it works properly, though, because it was glitching a little bit the other day. Here, let's bring you guys back over here. Yeah, this isn't right. You know this isn't right when it's showing everywhere else is 25% relative humidity in Florida. That ain't right. Here, let me do this instead. Let me just get the models up here. We'll do surface and humidity. So yeah, mixture of low humidity and gusty winds will contribute. This is more like it. Yes, this is more like it. So yeah, humidity is expected to be pretty darn low, as you can kind of tell. Especially if I overlay the winds now. Oops, surface, wind gusts here. Yep, so where you mix those areas of winds, strong winds and low humidity, that gives you a good shot at some wildfire conditions out there. Yeah, humidity is down pretty low. We could have some pretty gusty winds up there, though. You know, good 30, maybe 40 miles an hour. Let's see what the warning says here. East winds of 15 to 30 with local gusts up to 45. That's basically what we were just looking at there. Relative humidity as low as 25 to 30%. Yep, that'll do it. Yeah, if you have a lot of low humidity and strong winds, it'll do that. Because, you know, with everything low humidity, it dries everything out. And then, of course, you have your winds, which kind of feed it oxygen, which is, yeah, definitely a bit of a concern here. We got this little heat advisory up by Los Angeles. Temperature up to 105. Well, just a little bit toasty. Let's see. You heard your local meteorologist in Maryland mention something about pressure gradient and storm gathering some wind once it moves out of it. Can you look? That'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, so what they were probably talking about is this non-tropical low that we got going on over here. Absolutely can be bringing some strong winds here. Let me go ahead and show you guys this here. We'll actually look at those wind gusts here once again. So this is HRRR. You can actually see here as that low moves in. So there's your kind of center here. Let me actually bring up the, let's see, model surface. We'll do our pressure as well, maybe. There we go. Okay. So now we got our pressure. You can see where that central low is. So, you know, the system here, it is kind of going inland. Once again, it's not a tropical cyclone. It's not a tropical cyclone. But we absolutely could be seeing some very, very strong wind gusts, though, along some of these coastal areas. So, I believe that that's what they're talking about. So you're in Maryland, you said, right? Okay, so it depends on like what side. The side by Baltimore is going to be towards Chesapeake, the upper Chesapeake. Um, those areas are probably going to have some of the strongest winds for Maryland per se. Not in general, but the strongest winds for Maryland. Out there in the Chesapeake up there, we could see some gusts between like 30, maybe 40 miles an hour. So inland, it could definitely still be a little gusty. Absolutely. You can actually see it. So there's out by Baltimore. This is for 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can actually see we could have some gusts, maybe upwards of 25, maybe 30 miles an hour, according to HRRR here. So, but yeah, absolutely. We definitely could see some gusty winds out there. Even up for like New Jersey, Long Island here as well. Yeah. Oh, even Virginia, definitely going to get a little bit. I actually used to live up here by Manassas. That's where I grew up. Yeah, a little bit gusty out there as well. Also D.C. Not far from D.C. at all, actually. MD says, I have a question. Is it possible to get an estimation of Madison, Missouri weather around the first week of October? Since that's 2 to 3 weeks away going there to see my newly born. Oh, well, congratulations. That's awesome. Step first granddaughter. Oh, that's awesome. But unfortunately, it's a little too far out to look. If you could remind me, MD, as you get closer to that, I will be more than happy to ask, or more than happy to help. If you just remember to ask me, like, as the time gets closer, I will be more than happy to. See, because, where was I going to go with that? It's just too far out. It's just simply way too far out there. 2 to 3 weeks out. That's really pushing it. I don't like to look anything further than a week, typically. And even then, it could be a little iffy, even a week out. So, but anyways, just remind me, okay? Because I could tell you what some of the models are suggesting, but there's no way it would hold up because of how far away it is. So I'm just not even going to waste your time with that. Okay. Let's see here. We got several severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here. A lot of these are like sub-damaging winds right now. Yeah, most of these are for winds less than 50. But mostly for hail. So it seems like the dominant threat right now is hail. The McCook storm still has 60 mile per hour wind gusts on it. 2-inch hail observed. That's the biggest storm we got right now. Got a storm west of Cheyenne here. Southeastern Wyoming. Towards Laramie. Look at this. 60 mile an hour wind gusts and penny hail. Yeah, they're all over the place. Quarter hail. What's up? That day is coming. Saying, hi, Andrew. Is there anything for Georgia anytime soon? So today we have a little bit of storm potential for bits of central northern Georgia, but nothing severe. So this is just a normal thunderstorm threat. Saying, hey, a few booms of thunder possible. Nothing big. So, yeah, nothing big today. Tomorrow, west of Atlanta, we have a little bit of storm potential, but nothing severe once again. And then day 3, day after tomorrow, we'll actually look clear altogether. So, yeah, a little bit of storms, scattered showers and storms possible today. They're going to be very isolated, though, from what it looks like. So they're going to be very scattered. But yeah, nothing big at all. And then, like I said, tomorrow, just a little bit west of Atlanta, and that should be that. What is this? Winter, what? Excuse me. Winter weather advisory. Oh, buddy. It's that time of the year again, isn't it? I tell you what. Snow is too cold for me, for one. But I am excited to forecast winter weather. Nature has like the perfect mixture. You go from forecasting snowstorms, and then you go to forecasting severe weather, and then you go from severe weather into tropical weather, then from tropical weather into winter weather. It's just a big old cycle, which is pretty cool. But I tell you what, I'm ready to track the winter weather again. I missed that. Let's see, winter weather advisory: wet snow on Beartooth Highway above 10,000 feet. Well, that explains it. 1 to 3 inches of accumulation expected. Interesting. Precip type. Looks like all this is rain in it. Well, there you go. We'll have to start seeing more of that here soon. Let's see here. Turn on our winter weather. Yeah, all of our advisories and stuff are on. Okay. Huh. We also do have Mario kind of dying. So Mario's actually a depression now. Tropical storm warning still in effect for some reason. But yeah, Mario's no longer a tropical storm. We do have another invest over here in the Eastern Pacific as well. And then, of course, our 2 systems over here in the Atlantic. Let's see here. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, no problem, dude. Chris says, I loved your winter weather coverage from last winter. That's how I actually came across your channel and started watching you. Oh, well, there you go, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, see, my favorite, believe it or not, is not severe weather. In my opinion, tracking severe weather, it can get a little old, especially in the springtime. I mean, I know a lot of people who love it, but for me, I really love to do tropical weather forecasting. So forecasting the tropics and winter weather come before severe weather for me. I think it goes tropical weather, number 1, ultimate, then winter weather, then severe weather. I don't know. That's how I actually started, was forecasting the tropics. Like, I started a good 10 or more years ago, forecasting tropical weather. There's a handwritten forecast I did for Hurricane Matthew that I ran across not too long ago. I think that was 2017, maybe? But I was doing it before then, which was pretty interesting. Anyways, enough of that. Let's see, not ready for the snow. Yeah, I can understand that. I wouldn't be either. I lived up in Northern Virginia and Kentucky, and so I got my fair share of snow. And I've lived down in Florida over 2 years now. So, yeah. I'm not super used to winter. And even the year before that, I was down here to visit during the entire winter. So it's like I haven't seen a true winter in like 3, almost 4 years. Let's see. Love the coverage, not the actual snow. Cold here in Ohio. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I do. I believe Matthew is 2016. Was it? I know it was sometime around then. Yeah. All right, let's see what this guy's up to. Okay, so we got a severe warning. This is for Valentine. This is the one that we were looking at here a little bit ago. So this is out by Wood Lake. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. October of 2016. Got it. I remember tracking Patricia. That crazy. It was like 215 sustained, I think it was. Patricia, I think it was a really small storm, though. But it was, like, so powerful. Hurricane Patricia. What year was that? Let's see here. Hurricane Patricia. Was it 2015? Yeah, it was. Maximum sustained winds of 215 miles an hour. Central load down to 872 millibars, dude. Holy cow. Yeah, Patricia was another breed of monster. It was 215, not 50. 215 sustained, which, I mean, it had higher gusts, of course. Hurricane Patricia max wind gusts. Let's see here. So obviously wind gusts would be higher than 215 sustained, which it was. So sustained, meaning constant winds, it was at 215. So what I see here is there is gusts nearly 250 miles an hour. Wow. That is just crazy. Let's see here. Basically a large tornado. Yeah, I mean, wind's that strong. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Gotta be stronger than Wilma. What was Wilma at? I don't remember much about Wilma, to be honest with you. I just remember hearing about how crazy Patricia was back then. I mean, that was literally 10 years ago. That is so hard to believe, dude. Time is just, wow, going too fast, man. Goodness. So, by the way, everybody, if you're wondering why we're kind of off-topicing a lot, it's because we just have a bunch of severe warnings. We're just kind of on standby for any big stuff. The only big one we have right now is that 2-inch hail observed threat for McCook. But we got no tornado warnings as of now. Knock on wood. Don't want any of that action. No, thank you. No tornadoes, please. But there we go. Oh, look at that. They actually upped it. 2.5 observed now. Goodness. Thing's still kicking, isn't it? Sheesh. Yeah, look, you can see almost 7,000 feet up. So 7,000 feet, we are talking about mid-60s to even lower 70 dBc. That is a really crazy, really crazy echoes coming back to the radar there. Wilma had 185 sustained with a pressure of 882. I'm sure Wilma was bigger than Patricia, though. I think the reason Patricia got so strong was because of how small it was. See, because, you know, hurricanes, they can range in all kinds of sizes. They can be really tiny. They can be really tiny. But they can also be really massive. You know, like Sandy was a huge storm. Used a lot of its energy on its size. Patricia was a small storm. Used a lot of its energy on its strength. So, kind of similar to Aaron, you know, like we had Aaron not long ago. That used a lot of its energy for size rather than strength. It can't necessarily always have both unless it's, you know, stalling or just slowly picking up energy. It takes a lot of energy to build something that big. It's crazy, though. But, yeah, I mean, size absolutely matters on strength usually. I mean, typically the smaller ones can actually be the stronger ones, which is interesting. Really interesting how that works. Anyways, but yeah, we just got a bunch of scattered storms here going on. Here, let's take a minute to take a peek at the models here, y'all. Let's see what we got going on here. Hop back here, North Atlantic. Okay, so there's the system right there. You can see. So this is the new 18 UTC GFS. We have 180 hours out ready. So we work our way down in time. Ooh, new GFS has it getting close to Bermuda. You know, as of right now, there's no imminent threat for Bermuda though. It's just a singular model run. So at least for the next couple of days, for what it looks like, it doesn't look like GFS picks up much on the system. You know, maybe some very slow development here within the next couple of days. It's not really until the 21st, according to GFS, is when it really starts picking up strength. A lot of that's likely due to that dry air we were talking about earlier. You can see there's a lot of dry air in the area that's going into. There you go. You can see a lot of that. So the brownish tan color, that's dry air. A lot of that's kind of getting picked up in the storm here. And eventually it kind of gets a hold of all that moisture and can actually do something. But yeah, it's just very limited right now, at least in the short term, for all the moisture that's there. Or all the dry air, I should say. Yeah, Euro picks up on that as well, as you can see. Euro keeps it well east of Bermuda, though. That little speck right there, that's Bermuda. But I will tell you this, both models do eventually have the thing picking up in strength right around the 20th, 21st. Actually, Euro's a little bit earlier. Yeah, Euro kind of shows maybe the late 19th, 20th, 21st. CMC, on the other hand, also has it near Bermuda. Has it really picking up on the 21st? So yeah, between the 20th and 21st, that's likely when the system would really start picking up some strength here. Then you can see we have more waves, possibly. So we'll definitely be needing to watch this pretty closely, y'all. What's up with that? It's another low that comes up through the Bahamas, it looks like. GFS pick up on that? Kind of. Not really. Not as strong. Very interesting how that picks it up. Oops. Did not mean to grab a sounding. Let me actually do that, though. Let's grab a sounding for like where the storm is now. Just to kind of show you all how much the environment changes. So you see the dew points goes as far to the, to the left here, cooler over here on the left-hand side. So there's definitely some dry air in between there. Let's grab a sounding here, just west. Yep, so you see that big gap there in the middle atmosphere between our dew point and our temperature. That is signifying drier air. And on the right-hand side where there's more moisture, you can see how the lines are almost like on top of each other. Because that's showing saturation, that there's tons of moisture. And like down in time, if we grab another sounding on the western side, you see all that dry air up there. And if we grab on the right hand side, once again you can see, this one's actually a little bit dry as well. There you go, it's a little bit better. Still a little bit of dry air though. Yeah, so dry air is going to be a bit of a concern in it, but not until like later on. Eventually it kind of gets a hold of itself here. Yeah. Yeah, it eventually will run into a better environment here, it looks like. Anyways. Okay, looks like these storms are picking up a little bit now. We're now up to 60-mile-an-hour winds on all of these guys up here in western Nebraska. One out by Sutherland. This one has 1.25-inch hail observed. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. One to the north here for let's see here, Tryon, I think it is. This one is quarter hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Kind of baseline severe there. Valentine, Wood Lake, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and penny hail, which is not severe for penny hail anyways. Then McCook, we got still 2.5-inch hail observed, 60-mile-per-hour wind. It expires in 1 minute though, at least for that back warning. The one ahead of it's 31 minutes. Very, very interesting. Look at that. Yeah, so models have a lot of this convection continuing for quite a while. You know, a lot of this happens like after sunset and stuff too. Let's see. Let's bring you guys back over to models here. Positive reflectivity. Here we go. Yeah, so you can see how we have a lot of convection that continues. This is 11 p.m. Eastern, so this would be, let's see here, this would be 10 Central. Let's see here. So yeah, this would be right around 10 Central and stuff. But a lot of the worst of it's mostly going to be for like this evening and everything, so just need you guys to keep an eye out there for that. Anyways. Alrighty, folks. Well, I'm probably going to roll off here for now. Just wanted to hop on here for like a little, about an hour or so. Yeah, we actually just hit an hour, so just wanted to do a little bit of coverage today, just because we haven't in a while. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. I think I'm going to do a video maybe today. I think I might upload a video before tonight. So just kind of updating the tropics and stuff like that. Possibly. Not guaranteeing it. But and then, of course, tomorrow we'll do another update for you guys. We'll get you guys up to date with the tropics and everything like that. We might do a stream tonight instead only if the system becomes a tropical storm or depression tonight, we will go live again today. If not, then we'll probably just wait till tomorrow. Alrighty. Alright, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night or day. And like I said, we'll see you guys possibly later on today. It just depends on what happens. But I hope to see you guys then. Alright, everybody. Thanks for joining. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.